Maybe this one. Here we go. Welcome, crew, guys, gals, ghouls, friends, fiends, foes. Anyone that's listening beyond the Omniverse tonight, secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down as well, and fans. So, if you're hearing any rattling or crazy noises, let me know, and I'll just turn it off, and we'll get through this hot sauna that's going on here. But yeah, totally let me know if this is too loud, and I will turn it off, and it'll be a sweaty mess, but sweaty mess nonetheless. So I'm going to turn the sound down just a little bit, because I was listening to myself the other night, and I'm just like, holy shnikes, that mic is a bit hot. If you're listening live right now, you may be listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find at KPNL Radio at kpnl-bb.com. You can also find us on eTalk Radio, which you can find at etalk.tv/radio, as well as Spreaker under We Are Paradox Media. And if you like to watch as well as listen, you can find us live on YouTube under We Are Paradox Media, Facebook under We Are Paradox Media, as well as Twitch. If you want to listen in your free time, whether you're working it, or working out, just look us up basically wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're kind of all over the place, just like me. So today has been interesting. We actually finally put my friend and sister Cheryl to rest. I was able to be there for a little bit, but unfortunately I did have to go to work. Because my girl didn't get her stamps until today, so I had to take her shopping at the Walmart. I got to go and see family and stuff for a good 45 minutes or whatnot before I headed out. And man, I don't know about you guys, but it's been extremely hot. I know it's not just here in the U.S. I know it's everywhere. We just got this heat wave going on. Especially in a certain part of the U.S. and other places across the world, I'm sure. So yeah, I got this bag on. Like I said, if you hear anything, please let me know, and I will turn it off. But yeah, so I don't have anyone booked for tonight. I figured we'd do some mind-blowing TikToks. And let me tell you what, I got some stuff that is going to blow your mind. I had to turn off my Betty Boomer. I almost forgot. So let me get this lined up real quick here. Also, I don't know if you guys have experienced this as well, but allergies. And I noticed, in my front yard, the grass that's in certain places, like flower beds and stuff, that is out of control. It's got pollen on that, and I'm sure there's other things that are pollinated that are just super crazy. Yeah, I've just been sneezing a lot the last few days, and my nose has been running, and it's been pretty intense. Indeed. So if you hear me sniffling or whatnot, it's not because I'm sad. It's because those dangle allergies from the pollens. So let's get into this, shall we? So I got my little TikTok over here, and I did a bit of homework on this, so let's give it a go, shall we? Oh my gosh. I might have to leave this group because they've tried to call me several times, and I am trying to do a show. I'll have to tell you really quick, this is by The Depths of Despair. They're on TikTok as well as YouTube. If you haven't checked him out on YouTube, go check him out. He does such an awesome job getting all of these things going on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I might have to get out of there or somehow mute this. How do I mute this? No! Stop it! Oh man, I don't want to leave the chat, but I don't want to keep getting the... Oh, here we go. I found the mute button. Let's do it for, I'll say 8, but then we'll come back to it sooner than that because I really want to see my twins. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's get to the depths of despair, shall we?
Another bathroom.
I don't know if you heard that. That's pretty trippy.
As he proceeds to walk down the hallways, while looking inside each room, a creepy voice can be heard saying, "I see you."
Another bathroom.
Although
That's
it
gross.
appears he didn't hear this at the time, so he carried on looking inside the building, and a little later on, something spine-chilling happens that would make nearly anyone abandon their job and just leave the place.
This is a second 2-story building. This used to be the elevator shaft right here. I guess we're taking the stairs. I guess meditation class used to be upstairs. Had to put your shoes in this little cubby.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one before.
As Corbin arrives at the stairs, what sounds like someone or something can be heard approaching loudly, as if they were charging down straight towards him. And naturally, he reacts and quickly gets out of the way, and after a few moments to regain his composure, he musters the courage to go back to the stairs, and that's when the feeling of dread overcame him.
Brave with a knife, for sure.
After some further investigation, there's no one else in this building. I fucking heard someone go down those stairs, though. So, I guess this was the meditation room. There's a lot of natural lighting in here. I probably don't need the flashlight right now. Here's the top of the elevator shaft. You can't fucking see anything down there. So here's a meditation room. Kind of looks like the fucking back rooms. It looks very culty. There's a stage up here. It looks like a couple of altars next to them. Creepy.
I'd say.
Okay, now I'm getting the fuck out of here. That was it.
As he arrives upstairs, he can feel the atmosphere change as he notices the creepy vibes of the place. And after hearing one final bang, he decides it's time to leave before something really bad happens. Who was working in an old abandoned urgent. She has recently just moved into a new apartment in France, and just a few.
So in case you're wondering, we've moved to the next video, and this chick just moved into a new apartment. We're still with Depths of Despair, Club Despair. If you don't mind, mosey on over there. Please subscribe to Depths of Despair. And if you haven't subscribed to me, please subscribe here as well.
Few days after moving in, she randomly started experiencing paranormal torment in her new home. She has sent her son away to stay with his dad while she tries to figure out what's going on. One night, her bedroom door suddenly slams shut on its own, so she starts to record.
Oh, hell no. Let's not do that. Collab that would not be good. I don't like that. never seen one like that. That's cool. It holds your baby on. That's awesome. It's got safety rails. What the crack? I'd like my
The
deposit
light
back
flashes and the rocking toy moves on its own
get out of this
before a
lease.
sudden demonic sound can be heard and the lights flicker.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it a lot.
Terrified, she decides to spend the rest of the night on the landing and books a hotel to spend a few nights away while she waits for the priest to arrive. A few days later, she returns and the priest visits. Unfortunately, this didn't help at all. In fact, it only served to make things worse, along with the other solutions she has tried, which include adding salt lines and reading the surah, multiple chapters of the Quran. She also explains that she purchased this apartment, which is why she currently isn't able to just up and move out of the place. So now she sleeps in the living room because it seems to be the most devoid of paranormal activity, or so she thought. The night after the priest's visit, she's sleeping in the living room and hears a loud bang around 3:30 a.m. So she goes to check it out.
A bit. Playing drums with a toilet seat? Yes. A toilet lid. Oh my. I don't know. It seems a little rigged to me. What do you think?
The activity seems to be getting stronger and is now all over the house, not just one room anymore. It seems like she has no choice but to remain in this haunted house. So we should get some more updates soon. She has recently just moved into a new apartment in France, and just a few days after moving in, she randomly started experiencing paranormal torment in her new. A few nights later, it starts getting desperate to enter the house. And what happens next is absolutely terrifying.
तुम्हें बाहर जाना जरूरी है क्या?
एक मिनट यार, देख तो लेता हूँ कौन है।
Oh, it's not what a xylophone. It's the doorbell with the crack. Avon calling. Girl Scouts. I don't want no damn Girl Scout cookies. Shouldn't you be in bed? Oh, wow. Yeah, imagine that. How convenient. Oh. There be glass on the other side. You might lose an eye. Daddy? Let me in, Daddy.
क्या हो जी?
उनका पे
यहाँ पे सो रहा है।
तुमको आवाज कुछ सुनाई दिया क्या?
Don't blow it. Just leave door closed.
कुछ नहीं, मुन्नू की आवाज जैसे सुनाई दी। यहाँ पे आई क्या तुमको आवाज?
यहाँ नहीं है।
अच्छा ठीक है।
Pee-pee. Hello, Twitcher. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, I would have to disable that.
Can you please stop it?
I have seen this these videos before, not on TikTok, but I believe it was YouTube, and I do believe that instead of using the doorbell, there's actually like a lot of aggressive knocking. So, and I also saw this poor fella. That is so creepy. I don't like that. Daddy, can you please let me in? No. Anywho, this guy was just up in arms, crying in his car because he's so tired, can't deal with this anymore. Like, could you imagine?
Repetitive ringing on the doorbell,
Oh,
he
man.
decides to call out for the entity to stop it. And this thing decides to reply
Stop
back,
it, entity.
mimicking the voice of his son. This shook him to the core, and he quickly retreated back to his room, terrified. This seems to slowly be getting worse from here onwards, so hopefully we'll receive some more updates soon. A few nights later, it starts getting desperate to enter the house. A woman named Kimberly went down to the kitchen to grab some snacks.
So as I said before, we're on to the next one. This is not the same video. So now we're at Kimberly's house, dealing with her haunting. They're all haunted by mimics. Could you imagine? I haven't been haunted by mimics, but I have been haunted by doppelgangers. Not only of myself, which I haven't seen, luckily, because I heard if you see your own doppelganger, it's not a good thing. But I have seen one of my daughter. Yeah. Really weird.
And enjoy some late night cereal around 1:30 a.m. And while
I
doing
love late
so,
night cereal.
she heard something that gave her the chills, and it was captured on her home security camera. Watch closely.
Watch.
Oh, Jesus!
Thought it was her buddy.
Jackie?
Turns out it's not. It's not Jackie at all.
Hi.
Murphy. I think she lost her appetite. Yeah, you go back to bed now. That ain't Jackie. That's something else. Something else
Kimberly
entirely.
hears a voice which sounds like it says hi. The voice startles her and she quickly gets up and turns around, only to find that nobody is there. She then calls out to her roommate and realizes that it's not her. Terrified, she begins to pray on the spot for a few seconds before quickly leaving the room. She also mentions that during her late night snacks, the dogs would often join in and expect her to share some food, but for some reason they decided to steer clear on this
They're like,
particular
"Oh, hell no."
night, which leads Kimberly to believe this unexplained voice is the reason why. In another video, a woman named Michaela often makes videos talking about various different things while preparing food. She explains that she occasionally experiences some strange things around the house when she is alone at night and her husband is at work. She often hears footsteps late at night and sometimes gets the feeling as though something is sitting on the edge of her bed. On one night, while recording herself prepping some food, she hears something unsettling.
Making some chorizo for the hubby. Gotta make some extra this morning. Said he's gonna bring over his friend.
Aw, that's nice of him. Right?
Babe, are you home? What the heck? The door's still locked. The door's not even open. Okay, anyways, I don't know what that was. I'm hearing things going crazy. Almost
So
done
you can
chopping up
see
these
the door?
potatoes.
Wow. Nope.
Somebody playing a prank on me? Did you hear that? Babe, are you home?
Pumped right now? I wonder if it's
A
cold in
voice
there.
suddenly calls out
She's
to
wearing
her,
her hoodie.
but there doesn't seem to be anyone there. On another day, while preparing food once again, she captures this.
I always have mashed potatoes for days.
Mashed taters.
I always make way too many.
Yeah, you should. Because they're
I'm
very
saying that, I'm
popular.
like, maybe I shouldn't make as many.
Now there seems to be a lot of cases of people hearing familiar voices calling out to them when nobody is actually there. Maisha posts regular vlog-style videos while eating different meals. But in one strange video that went
yeah.
viral, she hears
Man,
something
these gals are
bizarre.
gonna make me
Take
hungry.
a look.
What's up, y'all? It's Taco Tuesday, and I made tacos. What? Ring. What? Why you call me? You didn't just call me?
What would you
You
do?
didn't say nothing?
You punking me right now?
You playing or did you call me or not?
I almost just choked on my own saliva. Which is the
I
worst.
swear to God. I know that I'm not tripping.
No, girl.
Maybe it was something else, but I know that I'm not tripping.
It's called a mimic.
I made tacos, y'all. I'm finna rewatch this video.
She hears
good,
someone
girl.
call out to her, thinking it's a family member. She responds,
What kind of sauce are you
but
using?
nobody answers back, leaving her to wonder
Oh, it's Taco
if
Bell
she's
sauce
tripping
in
or
a
not.
bottle.
In
Nice.
both cases, the two women answer back to the mimic, which is said to be something you should never do, because
Yeah.
by acknowledging it, you welcome it to haunt you further. Well, it just so happens that a woman named Tiff.
Okay, so I've heard that as well. When you hear a mimic, you're not supposed to answer. But unless the person's gone, how do you know it's not them? There was one particular girl that I saw who was dealing with a mimic. I believe she's back east in the Appalachians. And she had a mimic, but it was her own voice talking to her. And maybe due to the fact that she makes videos or whatever, she could tell that was her voice, because according to certain people, you don't really know what your voice actually sounds like until you hear it back in a recording, because vibrating through your head, it sounds differently. But yeah, so if it sounds like you and is talking to you, of course don't answer. But if it sounds like someone that's home, don't be a bitch and ignore them. Like, answer back. But then, yeah, that's really weird. Her kid's like, no, Ma, that ain't me. Right, Tiffany, let's go.
Tiffany had a similar experience
Oh,
and made the
Lord.
correct decision to ignore it.
In the middle of cleaning, I hear like a door shut, and I'm whispering because I'm kind of weirded out. Louis in the living room by himself, but I hear this door slam, and then I swear I thought I heard like me say like hello or hey or something. So I'm trying to wait and see if it does it again because I'm a nervous laugher, so.
Me too. I just heard that. But talking about nervous laughers, this is not a good point to make as far as it was not a good situation, but someone had pinned me up against my car. And instead of like going off and yelling or whatever, I laughed because I knew like I could get out of it or whatever. But a particular person in my life was like, well, why were you laughing? Because I'm a nervous laugher. But yeah, people nervous laugh all the time. Even when I got kicked in the head by a cow, I laughed. So there's that. I did hear that. Answer.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Shh. Do not answer. Don't do it.
It's going through my
Turn the music up.
Oh my god, who is that?
Are these the results of a mimic, or is it something else entirely? We may never know. A woman named Kimberly went down to the A woman named Kimberly went
So did I say that one twice? Hold on.
down to the kitchen. He was living in the Appalachian Mountains when something tried to get in.
So I did save the Kimberly one twice, or maybe it's a different one?
User.
Let me go
A
back.
woman named Kimberly went down to the kitchen to grab some snacks. He
Nope,
was
same.
living in the Appalachian Mountains when something tried to get in. User Dustin Frazier was living in the Appalachian Mountains around 10.
I don't know if you've seen this guy, but I saw him several times at work, and it was hard to decipher what was there because it was like really dark, and I think he was by himself doing like closing procedures, or maybe it was so early it was opening procedures. I'm not sure. But then certain people like Casper Sight or other people like that will use their equipment and brighten the pigments or whatever, like make the background brighter so you can see what the heck is back there. Super crazy. And then at home, what the crack? Are we like in Zombieland or The Walking Dead or something? What the crack is that outside your house? So where is he at? Oh, just outside at Virginia. So is he in Virginia still? Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Looks like he's in Virginia. Not too far from Roanoke. Anyways, let's go.
Tennessee when he heard a strange noise and decided to break the rules of
Oh my god, this is at his house. I hate this one. I hate this one.
Ever since then, something visits him late at night.
Where have I seen this one?
Because I opened the door, so I'm not going to do that this time, but it's back.
Okay. So if this is the same one, how come it's dark out there and light out here? Maybe he's got a motion sensor light. If so, that shit's bright. Let's go. You guys, I don't think I've seen this one before, and I'm super freaked out. And did you notice it says please? I just heard something on the radio the other day, like hardly anybody these days uses the word please. Adults especially, probably because we've gotten used to being around assholes. I still use please and thank you, etc. because I was raised right. My kids were raised right. But then there's kids and adults out there that don't. It's like they're kind of demanding. But anyways, did you hear this entity asking nicely, let me in, please. Like, squeeze me? All right, so he sets up a security camera. Let's see what the crack is going on with this.
He sets up a security camera which shows no one outside his house.
I'm
But the
skilled.
activity continues, even scaring the dog.
What the heck?
He believes he's being haunted by a mimic, an entity that can imitate the voice of loved ones to try and get in your house. Or
Doesn't look like a mimic, because you would think a mimic would look like you, like a doppelganger, but maybe not. I've never seen one. It doesn't look like a skinwalker. What is the other one? That's more back east in Appalachia. That is like a skinwalker, but not. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll think of it.
lure you away. He was living in the Appalachian Mountains when something tried to get in. User Dustin.
Okay, going to the next. Girl. Oh no.
This video was taken by a security
I've seen this one before and I freaking hate it. Let's go.
camera placed inside this girl's bedroom to monitor her. It is around 11 p.m. and well past her bedtime, yet she decides to play with some toys while in bed, when something utterly terrifying happens.
Hey, do you want to play with me? Sure, I'll play with you. You want to play? Yeah. Boing, boing, boing. Boing, boing, boing. Boing, 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 boing.
You is my girl, you is my star. No, stand back. No. No. Why? Why are you going to do that? This is what nightmares are made of, I'm telling you. Fuck that. Mommy, finish that cigarette before you come on in. Oh my gosh. That is so trippy. Oh, I just remembered. Okay, so that picture they showed, it's not a skinwalker, although I have seen pictures that kind of resemble that are skinwalkers because they're wearing skins and stuff and with the horns and etc. But that was looking like a Wendigo. Anywho's, this mom took her sweet ass time. Come on, Mom, let's go.
Let's go.
Where you at? Oh my gosh. This reminds me of when my eldest daughter, who is now 24, I met my husband. We're living in an A-frame. He had told me about like different weird dreams and stuff he'd had, but nothing like right in front of his face. Weird thing is, so bottom you have the kitchen, bathroom, and then the hallway that goes to the stairs that go upstairs, and then you have a living room area. TV here, stairs, whatever. My daughter has a bedroom upstairs and insists on having the lights off and having the door closed. What kid do you know that insists on having the lights off and the MF doors closed? Like, that's weird. And then later on, after talking to her away from the house because she was afraid to talk at the house because they can hear you. Ooh. It makes my skin crawl. So, away from the house, we talked to her and asked her, hey, what's going on in your room? Like, it's really weird that you want the lights off and the door closed and you're super quiet. What's going on? Well, there's Mommy E and there's Baby E. And if you wake up Baby E, Mommy E's gonna get mad. So I think she's like 2.5 at this point, almost 3. And we're like, oh, well, why are they called Mommy E and Baby E? And she said, well, that's because they make the sound. And then, being away from the house again, she would tell different things like, we had put a nightlight in there, that way she could see to get out of bed, to go to the bathroom so she doesn't pee the bed or anything, which she never did. She was so good. But she said one night she saw this hand like reaching over her. And I don't know if it was trying to grab her or what, but that really freaked her out. And we asked about Mommy E, like, what's going on with Mommy E and Baby E? Like, why are they here? And she said, well, Baby E was climbing a tree and Baby E fell out. And Mommy E got really sad because Baby E died. And Mommy E took a bath. And Mommy E looks like she was in the bath too long. You know how you get like those raisin fingers and stuff? Ugh. So I think she like killed herself in the bathtub. Very sad. Both parts of it. And other things happened in the house. But years later, so let's see. She was 19 when she saw Mommy E again. So that was like 5 years ago. She was living in Ignacio, Colorado, in a house that used to be a Catholic church. They had some friends over. They're drinking Apple Crown and different things like that, smoking the tweeds, getting along, just hanging out, having fun. For some reason, their friends want to go into the attic. Like, who the F, why the F do you want to go into the attic? What they did, they found boxes full of tapes. They threw those away. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Like, you should have given that to me. I could have investigated because I do paranormal investigation. But there was a satanic Bible. There were these onyx looking rocks, but they were like bubbly. So they threw out the tapes. Their friends took the bubbly rocks and the satanic Bible. And then after that, they really, really changed. That was really freaking weird. But not only did she see like future essence of her boyfriend, who shortly after that got hooked on cocaine. He was abusive in the first place. Then he became very abusive. One night she was staying up watching TV, watching movies. She fell asleep in the chair and she woke up and she looked down and she saw her old man at the time sitting there, and he's like hugging his knees and walking back and forth. And she said he didn't have any clothes on, but he had some kind of like boxers, but in between boxers and briefs, like it was tighter than boxers. I'm not sure what those are called, but they were like dingy and they had holes in them and stuff like that. And he was just like holding his legs, rocking back and forth. And she tried to talk to him. She's like, Timmy, like, what's going on? What's going on? And he wouldn't answer. And then she heard her boyfriend coughing from the other room. So she jumped over this entity, whatever the crack it was, and ran into her room. So that thing was either a doppelganger or a future vision or essence of what this guy was going to become, which he did. And then shortly after going into the attic and finding this stuff, they started to have issues with the Hat Man. And we went over there. We could see the Hat Man. We could also see his little minion, which I felt so bad for the guy because you could tell, like, he was like hiding beside the couch or behind the couch and putting his head down. You could tell, like, he was not into what the Hat Man was trying to make him do. But you know, if he doesn't do what the Hat Man wants him to, he's going to be punished. But we were able to kind of get rid of him for a little bit. But then luckily my daughter ended up leaving this jerk before she was killed. And everything was all good, but yeah, crazy ass stuff going on out there. Let's get back to it, shall we? Oh my gosh. Creepy. But never my kid getting pulled under the bed. Mommy and baby, that was creepy enough. This shit, forget about it.
A toy lights up on its own. Even creepier, it starts to play the same song she's singing, as if to lure her under the bed. And when she goes to check it out, something swiftly pulls her under the bed. Her mum is convinced that something sinister lurks underneath, and has since moved her daughter to another room and locked the door for safety. But
what happened?
our viewers kept asking if she had checked under the bed
Sorry, guys. What the heck is happening here?
herself.
Okay, trying to figure this out. I'm going to go off screen, remove myself, come back. Let's present, share screen. For some reason, we're having some issues here with share. Sharing is caring. Okay, we're back. Let's go.
To see what's there, that's when this happens.
I've been getting a lot of questions. People have been asking me, have you been in the room? Have you guys looked under the bed? No, we haven't.
She's about to. I've seen this
We've
part.
been in the room in the last 2 days. We've been a little scared.
Can't hear what you're saying. Can't read your lips. Oh my gosh. Creepy.
It's scary now.
Yeah. Let me tell you what. Oh no. You're braver than I, lady. Braver than I. Come on. I have my Glock out. Let's go. Come on, I can't see shit. What's happening? Girl. Oh my gosh. Come on. Really?
This video was taken by a security camera placed inside this girl's bedroom to monitor her. It is around 11 p.m. and well past her bedtime, yet she decides to play with some toys while the next video.
Okay, so I don't know why it was so dark. There wasn't a part 2 nearby, so I didn't pull it up, but I know that there was a video that they brightened it because it just looked dark as F. And you couldn't really see what it was, but it was like this really creepy looking baby doll in the background. So I don't know what was up with that, but this one, black figure emerges by the woods.
Video comes from the TikTok user Lisa, who was out training her dogs over by the woods when she saw a creepy black mass emerge within the woods, which vanished shortly after. So she didn't pay any mind to it and carried on walking with her dogs. However, when she returned to her car, the black figure could once again be seen in the woods. So she decided to start recording it. Eventually, she mustered the courage to venture deeper into the woods along with her dog after losing sight of the black entity. And that's when her dog started behaving rather strangely.
I've just been, I don't know where to start. I haven't been back to our training grounds since my last video, but I've been feeling really creeped out.
Off into the distance, this same black figure could be seen once again, just remaining far enough to not be clearly visible in detail. But it seems that the dog could sense it, and was feeling quite threatened by its presence, as you can tell by the sounds it was making. She then proceeded to venture even further into the depths of this forest to try and get a clearer look.
Oh my gosh, girl. She's just a glutton for punishment. Well, it's just me and my dog. So long as I have my dog, I'm okay. Really? Your dog is obviously scared, telling you, go the other way, go back. There it is behind the tree. Go back. Dude, no.
Whatever this strange entity was, it must have been aware she was seeking it out by following it into the forest, as it has successfully managed to keep itself obscured within the woods. And now she believes that this thing may be following her, as she gets the sense that she is being stalked and watched. Just what could this thing be? Is it some type of cryptid, or something else entirely? Let me know.
Next.
Curious individual from Italy.
Okay, I can't read anything here. Quote, paranormal help support and astrology. So, let's go.
Set out to find proof of the paranormal.
Alright. Let me break it down for you. In case you're thinking about playing with a Ouija board or whatever. Okay. Let me break it down for you. The majority of my clients are two different types of people. One who messed with the occult and got more than they bargained for. Okay. And then the other ones who are extremely traumatized and all of a sudden they start experiencing things.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't have anything.
I just have to look really quick. Is this the text? Yep. Of despair. Okay, so this is from Paranormal Help Support. So if you go to TikTok, it's this girl's lovely face, and it's called Paranormal Help Support. You put it all together or at, same thing. All right, just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Looking good, girl. Let's go.
Else. It's usually people who are traumatized, all right, who have been through a lot of hell in their life.
Oh, yeah.
Losing people, being raped, or being abused, or these kind of things. Okay, or it's people who mess with the occult.
Who must be what?
Ouija boards are a tool. They're a tool to contact the other side.
Yeah.
They are a darker tool. Okay?
Okay, because things can come through that you don't expect, and things know things that you don't expect them to know. For example, so my mom died when I was 5, almost 6. She was killed by a drunk driver. It was me and my brother and my dad. I had 3 older siblings, but they went with their dad. Sorry, I have a floater. Anyways, so my mom's dead. My dad's taking care of us, kind of. Sent us for a visit, yada yada. I went to my grandparents for a while. My grandparents couldn't handle us because they were too old. Like, they had their freaking 8, 9, 10 kids or whatever, that they did back in the day. My uncle, my aunt, now being my mom because she adopted me, came and got us. They drove all the way from Washington State. It was my Aunt Sandy and my Aunt Karen, and that was like the best trip ever. But anyways, they came and got us. Once I got back in Washington, taking lessons from the missionaries for the LDS church, became a member of the church around 7 or 8. I think I was 8, my brother was 7. So you taught, don't play D&D, which I do, and I love it. There ain't nothing wrong with it unless you're weak-minded and you allow things to control you as far as like the fantasy world and reality. And also, don't play with Ouija boards. Don't do tarot cards. I do tarot cards. The only time I ever did a Ouija board was, let me go back over here and get out of this small screen. So I'm in North Carolina, Camp Geiger, Camp Lejeune. This is a Marine Corps base. It's during Hurricane Bonnie. So we're all locked down for the hurricane. We can't go nowhere. Not on the weekends, no nothing. We're all going to go together for chow. I think chow was even delivered at some point because they didn't want us out of the barracks. So, the weird thing is, there was this Ouija board being passed around, and it was from Private Black. Funny thing, my daughter's donor had the last name Black. Same, but different. Different person. So this guy had a Ouija board. The guys used it all the time. It was a big hit. This poor guy, ended up laying down in the road for military training. He laid down in the prone position, he's there ready to fire. Guess what? The fucking tank rolls over him. So poor little Private Black got ran over and died. Anywho's, his Ouija board, which he brought in there, he owned, he was passing it around amongst his friends, was going back and forth between the male and female barracks as far as the broken platoon. So yeah, we're sitting there, Hurricane Bonnie, all these girls are on a rack, my rack's over here, theirs is over here. And I'm just sitting there and watching, and the girls were like, hey, you want to try this? No, I'm good. I'm just going to watch. And then after I saw, what was happening with everyone, I'm like, yeah, I want to go. I want to talk to my mom. I really miss my mom, and I want to see, what she has to say. And so I get on there and I ask, can I talk to my mom? And whoever it was, which if it was evil, it would have been yes, come on in. But it said no. So it must have been somebody related to one of the girls that were in there. But it said no. And I'm like, well, F you then. I'm going to go hit the head. I'm going to take a shower. And you guys just have some fun. I'm done. I ain't doing it. After I got out of the shower, left the head, came back to my rack, guess what's laying there? The freaking Ouija board. Well, I didn't know the rules of it because I'd never played it before. One of the main rules, you never do it alone. I didn't know that. So I put my stuff in my locker and went over to my rack and I put my hands on it and I'm just like, can I talk to my mother? And, you do that swirly thing and all of a sudden it's just and it starts going and it's kind of slow at first and it goes faster and faster and faster. It was the strangest freaking thing ever, but I was super excited because it's tell your brother Gary, tell your brother Greg, tell your sister Kathy, tell your brother John, tell your dad, I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything I asked her was on point. Are you with me? Yes, I'm with you all the time. But I think they're omnipresent. They can be in different places at different times. And I think it really matters on your spiritual development, how developed you are spiritually as far as what you can do on the other side. Yeah, I can be anywhere I want, anytime I want. I can fly. I can visit certain places. It's great. It's beautiful. There's only love over here. To me, that was my mom. I felt like that was my mom, and I was so excited because I know how heartbroken my dad was that my mom had passed. That was the love of his life until the day he died, which he was 49 and 2 months old, so I have about 4 more years before that happens, and that really freaks me out too. But anyways, so I run to the payphones next day. I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I gotta tell you something. He's like, what? What's up? Dad, I talked to Mom last night and she told me just what I just told you. He's like, oh man. I'm like, what? Why are you not more excited? And he said, well, there's dark things on the other side and could be something pretending to be your mom. Or it could have been your mom. I don't know, but please don't do that again. And I never did. But I do believe that was my mom, but I do believe while I was talking to her, or maybe when somebody else was using the Ouija board, something inked out. Because that very same day, go back to my barracks. The head is full. Like, I have to use the bathroom, but there's a ton of people in there. So I'm like, I'm just going to lay on this rack by the bathroom. Nobody's staying there because that's the least peaceful place for anybody to stay. So luckily, the sergeant and staff sergeant and everybody made it to where nobody fucking slept there. Because could you imagine people going in and out all night and stuff? On one side, it was lockers. The other side, it's the rack. So I sat down on the rack and laid down. I'm just like, I'm just going to lay here for a bit and I'm just going to wait till it clears out. And I was just so tired and drained, and I hated naps my whole life until about 5 years ago. Then I'm like, hell yeah, bring on the naps. But I was not into naps, but I was so tired I fell asleep. And I had this dream that there I am going into the head, and different pipes and shit had been broken. I think it had to do with the sink. And I'm walking in there, but I keep like leaning against the wall. And it seemed like I was very inebriated. But at the same time, it could have been I was astral traveling. So I'm sitting there leaning against the wall, making my way to the sink. Then I'm leaning on the sink. And I'm talking to these guys, and, you know, we're girls in a platoon, and there's some cute guys in there fixing the sink. So I was flirting and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, line up for chow, line up for chow. And I wake up, and I see the girls running out of the head. I'm laying there on the rack. All I could do is move my eyes. I could not move a muscle. I'm like, oh my God, if I don't get in formation right now, I'm going to be in so much trouble, because I was on crutches and stuff, because I had totally shattered my foot. And I was just trying with all my might, to the point that I was sore for like 2 freaking weeks. As hard as I strained to get out of this, people call it sleep paralysis. I've had it twice. Once then, and then once about 10 years later, which was another thing that we'll get to at another time. But anywho's, guys, let's try to finish this up really quick, and then we'll go to our music break.
They're a darker tool. Why? Well, because of the fact that 9 times out of 10, what they let in is usually not so great.
Nope.
Ouija boards are a portal that you open when you use them.
Mm-hmm.
Portals open, things walk through. Think of it like walking down a dark alley and hoping you don't get jumped. You can go down that dark alley, but if something spots you, if something decides to jump you, okay, then you're at their mercy. All right, and that's what you do when you mess with a Ouija board. Not only do you do all of this, but you leave the door to that dark alley open. So if something walks down that dark alley,
piece of wood stuck in there,
open, it can still get to you years and years and years later. Okay, it can literally still get to you like 20, 40, 10, 5 years later. It just depends. Okay, because people don't know how to close sessions properly and close portals properly.
You say goodbye.
All right. Ouija boards are not to be messed with.
Okay, so I believe that was the end of that. So, boys and girls, let's go to our first music break. On this break, we have Mr. Jeff Hilliard, one of my favorites, A Finger Bang Your Day and Consensual Sex Band. 2 of my favorites, like they're in lock mode, and then Abandon is over here, and it's like up and down because it's like an 80s ballad that I really, really love, and it shows his progression in music. But Consensual Sex Fan is his first song. And in case you're wondering, Jeff Hilliard is from Los Angeles, California. He's also going to be singing Finger Bang Your Day, which means flip the middle finger. It's a California howdy. And it also makes you feel better sometimes. It helps you to, instead of punching someone in the throat, you could just flip the finger and feel kind of the same, you know what I'm saying? And then Cock That Hills, Multitude, and Silicone Wave. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Do you wanna go for a ride in my consensual sex van? Let me take you far away from all this huff and puff.
Just get in the van.
When your life is a never-ending train wreck, and you feel like you're drowning in a sea of regret, with a bit of oppression pressing down on your neck, it hurts so bad. When your overwhelming hatred kills your heart's desire, and reality starts looking like a dumpster fire, you start bitching to me, but you're preaching to the choir. You don't need to be so mad. 'Cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world goes completely insane, open your heart, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, I'll finger bang my day. That's right. You gotta make the choice to give it all you've got, and make your day long with pleasure, really make it hot. Because your day deserves a lover that pulls out the stops. Come on, it's not so hard. 'Cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we should. There's no reason to try. When the whole world blows up in our face, what else could we do but stand up and sing? I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, finger bang my day.
Hey, what are we really doing? We can't live in a world that has this much hate. We have to get honest with ourselves. We have to take stock in what our part is in all of this madness. We have to let go, and we focus on giving love, setting that intention. And each and every single one of us gets up every day with the intention to give love. And we do it. We go out there and we give love every single day. Each one of us gets out there and makes love to our day, giving our day a multiple orgasm. The whole world will be orgasmic for the rest of eternity.
Sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we should. There's no reason to try. When the whole world is fucking insane, we open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day.
You're desperate and pathetic. Nothing but a coward. You're a fool with nothing to offer. No one will ever believe you. They see you for what you are. You're just a fraud, a shell of a person. And now the marvelous fear of penetrates the demons that haunt you. They enslave you into the dungeon of the hate. I am the son of
I got molar moves, got that molar too. You think it's wrong? I could've had too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it.
All these hookers sweet on me. Look at them chasing me, showing me that ass. And I bagged up to snatch. I do this shit for free. Go down your mom till 3. She's taking selfies with the mullet like it's history.
I can outmaneuver you with that pussy, dude. You sit like Buddha waiting on it to come to you.
My lines are straight to the point. She shows me gratitude. So what's your latitude?
Let's adjust your attitude.
Head with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that.
Head with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head, I'm living cut it.
Alligator, double dually Lamborghini. All up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini. You're like the butt of a butter knife cutting up panini. So climb back in your kangaroo pouch like a rolling genie.
These moves are hot, these locks I got. This power cannot be disputed and it can't be bought.
So you can find me in the studio with all these thoughts. You wanna bite my style, but you can't be what you're not, neighbor.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it. Got that motherfucking molar.
You wanna touch it?
Yeah. Next time you come around here with your bitch ass, just remember how my mullet makes your hoes pussy drip, drip, drip.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it. I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it. Never gonna cut it. Never gonna cut it.
Drip, drip,
Molar moves.
just a molar, bitch.
Molar moves.
Drip, drip.
Molar moves. Never gonna cut it.
I just got a package. I can't wait to get home. I spent all day tracking the shipment of my phone. All that she was lacking, I ordered custom. I can't wait to get some. Take it to the bedroom. Bitches always nagging. Now I got the air. I send the bitches packing. Going my way. I have a new attraction. Don't care what you say. It's better in every way. Now baby, it's time to play. We're gonna make us a tape and show everyone the way. 'Cause I'm going
puis à mort.
Je pense toujours.
Enchanté,
Tu es charmant.
ma chérie,
Tu
ma
es
fruteuse nasty. Easy touchy of the nipple.
Tu es charmant. C'est moi.
It's like living on a super yacht, making love to a robot. It's like owning a football team, but having sex with a robot. It's like winning an Oscar and Emmy a Grammy when you're fucking a robot. It's like saving a family with a newborn from a fire, but you're fucking a robot.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks so much for joining me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Night in the Rockies. So grateful to have you, whoever may be listening or hanging out with us right now. We did have a YouTuber, now we have, for the most part, had a Twitch on. Don't know who it is, if it's my Truzado or somebody else, but whoever it is, like, welcome. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm trying to get the lighting right, like... Of course, the bronze is wrong. The bronze is wrong, Bob. Alright, so we're going to present once again. Pretty sure I have it right now. Yep, I just put it on. Just pause for the cause. So, let's get back to who we were listening to before, and this stuff gets pretty deep. I was trying to find something as far as the Mexican vote goes. That was pretty trippy when I heard how many people had died before this election. I was like, are you fracking serious? You know, I'm into conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and a lot of times they turn out to be true, sometimes not, but this is intense. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's go with this one. So I'm pretty sure we have done this one, but just in case.
They're just not. Most experienced practitioners do not mess with Ouija boards just because of the fact that we know
I just
better
gotta
than
turn up my sound really quick.
And hope we don't get jumped. Okay? Every single time I see these haunting videos, they're like, okay, and then they mess with the Ouija board, and it's like, of course they did. Of course they did.
Yep.
Because people like
Curious individual from Italy set out to find proof of the paranormal.
all right. Let me break it down for you. In case you're
And let me break it down for you, in case you don't know. It's paranormal help and astrology. Please subscribe. Let's go.
thinking about playing with a Ouija board or whatever, okay, let me break it down for you.
I think we just did this.
One day, when he posted something strange after having a creepy
Slow down,
encounter
Tonto.
within the isolated desert with something
my gosh.
unknown, something that tried to lure him over.
Just coming in from planting those trail cameras.
Real 4C.
The vultures everywhere. It's odd.
Yeah, why? Because it smells like death? This is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, tell you what. Nope, not gonna go that way. Let's go this way. I'm not sure I want to go this way either. Okay, so people talk, people say things. This person or thing said, hey, and this horse reacted this way. What?
Ever since then, it would seem that whatever was out that day set its sights on luring this man over, perhaps to meet his demise. Late one evening, on another day, he experienced the same thing.
Seriously?
Just saw. Looked almost like a coyote. Ran right across here.
Okay. Okay, sorry, my fan just went crazy. Is this an entity? Is this a goat? Or a lamb? Sounds animalish, whatever it is.
That sounded like a kid.
Yeah, a kid is a little baby goat. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Something that sounds like a goat or a little boy can be heard off in the distance. And after enhancing the brightness as he zooms in, it looks like something can be seen on the ground. But it's too hard to make out what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Fully convinced he is being watched by a skinwalker or some other type of entity, he decides to get a night vision camera and begins thoroughly searching the desert in hopes of finding whatever is lurking.
So I'm wondering, is this like an ex-military person? Anyways, I have tons of these videos lined up. I'm trying not to mess up the lineup, but holy shnikes.
Around. Most of the time, it seems that he is onto something, but whatever it is, it's as if it's close, yet too far at the same time. However, he does capture something one night.
This is not the donkey one, right? If it is, I'm gonna lose my mind. Because that was a donkey with his head hanging off. Like, that is not a donkey.
Something completely black stands out when he shines the light from his torch.
I'm just grateful it wasn't the donkey.
Many
That was
viewers
crazy.
were quick to say it's a crouched shadow figure, while others thought it was an animal or some object. But wisely, he didn't dare risk getting closer to it. And later on, he decided to do a live stream in which the voices could also be heard.
Hey Twitcher, hey YouTuber, thanks for joining.
You hear that voice?
Yeah.
The horse is looking over there.
Yeah, it's like,
What is it, Gypsy?
it's like cats, dogs, horses, animals can see and hear certain things we can't.
They're hearing it.
Yeah.
We can see both horses react, staring off into the direction of the sound. Some people say the further away it sounds, the closer it actually is. On another night, while using the night vision camera, he captures some movement.
It's a big thing, ain't it? Stand in the brush. Yeah, it's just waiting. Come on out here,
This,
feller.
along with what looks like a shadow figure or some creature off in the distance, is the closest he has come to capturing whatever is following him. I've seen cases like this before, with people hearing voices at different distances, and in some cases their own voice is mimicked and used against them. But
I
just
hate
what do you
that.
think? Is this a
I
real
hate that.
skinwalker? Or something unknown? One day, when he posted something strange after having a creepy encounter within
Mexico is experiencing as
Okay, it took me forever to find this, so let me lay it down for you. Female empowerment. I'm down. B-I-E-I-O. But the number of people that actually freaking died for this to freaking happen? How many sacrifices do you need for certain people or person to take power? I'm not sure. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20. What? 20 what? This is not the video I was looking for, but this is the closest that I could get to it. And it scares me and really blows my mind. Yes, I don't live there in Mexico, but at the same time, what the frack is going on? And before that, it was dingy and dirty. Like, there was people being killed off and stuff, but this is huge. Huge. It should be memorialized because the amount of lives that were lost.
Bloodiest election year in history. At least 24 candidates have been murdered in the last 7 months. And in February, 34 candidates withdrew from the Michoacan election after 2 other candidates were murdered in the same exact date. Now, when you look at all the candidates that were killed, they were all for stronger security. Now, Mexico is not like the U.S. at all. Because in Mexico, usually the gangs and cartels run everything. It don't matter. They run everything from laws, judicial systems, everything. And when they have so much power, to the point to where they're detaining Mexican military, it shows how much power that they have. And from 2018 to 2023, there's been a 236% increase in electoral violence across Mexico. Now, what I think that Mexico, in order to have control of everything, they, number one, have to have a better military, because the military that they have right now is trash. They need to form alliances with other countries or something to help team up, because they can't do it alone. These cartels in Mexico have homies from all around the world, you know what I mean? So there's no stopping them. I think Mexico needs a leader like the president of El Salvador. Because the president of El Salvador, man, he's cracking down on everything, man. And he's cracking down on everything so much to the point to where it's become one of the safest countries in the world. So it all starts with a good leader, man. And Mexico don't have no leaders at all. But it's bound to happen one day. What do y'all think about this, man? Do y'all think there's going to be a war between the government and the cartels? Or do y'all think that it's just never going to happen? Do y'all think that the cartels are just always going to run everything? Y'all comment down below. Catch y'all next episode.
Okay, guys. All right, let me burn myself up here real quick. Like, I saw this on another channel. It was Inspiration from the King or whatever. I saw that video the other night and I screenshotted it. I tried to find it, couldn't find it. I don't know if he deleted it or what exactly happened, but the number of deaths, over 20 deaths, in order for this female to be elected as president. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm down with the BIEIO to be president, but how many people have to die and perish for this to happen? And guess what? A bunch of drug cartel peeps that were the leaders of these certain cartels, don't say nothing, were females. And they have been convicted. They have been put in prison. But they went for a long time because everybody's looking for males. They're not looking for females. This woman right here, how come over 23 people had to die for this? And you're like, oh man, it's a mark in history. Oh man, it's the first time a woman president has been elected for Mexico. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. But guess what? It's fucking scary too, right? You know, don't put on your blinders. Don't be walking around like walking past the fish market and say, good morning, ladies. When in fact it's a fish market. Come on, dude. Like, don't be blind to this shit. Shit is happening all the time, and shit has been so dirty in Mexico. Like he's saying, like the cartel runs everything. I almost got lost in Mexico once. It was from Texas. Me and my bestie drove all the way from Colorado to a certain part in Texas, and I think it was El Paso or something like that. Then we went down. We went to the bar that was in, I believe it was Dusk Till Dawn or whatever. Freaking epic. Had a good time, you know. Went back, got the car, went back, did some other stuff across borders. I got rid of that person, then I'm trying to come back and I can't find my way. Like, how the fuck do I get back to the border? Like, there's no signs, no nothing. So I see this market open, so I pull over. I'm like, hey, how do I get to America? Americana, USA? and nobody understood me. Everybody's just like, "Shh, we don't even know what you're saying." And just like, oh. So I just drove up and down streets until I saw that, like, the bright lights from the border. But then I went, but that was super freaking scary. Anyways, enough about me. Let's get back to this, because this stuff is crazy. Okay, so this has to do with the solar eclipse. And this guy, what is it called? Something inspired by the king. Let me see if I can blow it up real quick, like... I have it in my phone, but I don't want to pull my phone up. Inspired by the king, okay? So, let's get back to it, shall we? This guy is super cool. He's onto some stuff, but this one made me think, like, there was a solar eclipse. I didn't look at it because even though I bought, like, 3 different glasses to look at this, my friend Gary at the Speedway was like, huh, you traveling? I'm like, no, but you're selling it, so there must be something going on. And then because he asked that, I just felt like there was nothing going on. We didn't have the total lunar eclipse, but we had a partial. But I didn't look up at it. I just walked out 12:45 to go to work and noticed, like, everything looked like a tinge of purple. Otherwise, I was not down with what was happening. But anyways, let's see what this guy says, because it's pretty intriguing. Come on, man.
The entire country was just gaslit. Let me explain. Let me start by saying the ones on here that are attacking the people who had predictions for the 8th, I would say y'all are way, way worse than they are. At least they use logic, rationality, and their brain. We're gonna go through a lot of stuff. Notice his eclipse thing though, 33.3 million at 33,000 reshares. Like I said in my videos, it was a time to repent and y'all failed.
333.
What bothers me the most is the massive gaslighting done by the people who run America. The news literally said that there's going to be an earthquake on the 8th. And not just this, but Saturday Night Live ran a skit about an earthquake being on the 8th.
I love SNL.
Because we've got the eclipse earthquake coming up on Monday. As Deborah Ross was telling us, it's going to be a transformative experience.
The news was the one telling you to get food, gas, National Guard was going to be there, and all this.
Go crazy. Go crazy. That's what they were doing. They're like, oh, well, this is going to happen. I don't know if you guys recall, but across this certain plane in the United States, get your food, get your water, because if you wait, you ain't going to get it. So everybody's going out there, gripping and crawling, scrawling, scraping, scratching, fighting, nut busting. Like, everybody's sitting there trying to get food and water because it's the end of times. I must admit, it really freaked me out because of that. Like, oh, these people in this place, like, prepare your food, your water, everything. And then also biblical stuff because names lined up. But anyways, let's see what this guy has to say.
This other stuff.
Us for an earthquake. Check out SNL last night.
What is this little fool talking about? To do a little shimmy shake and try to steal my thunder? Well, what you gonna do when the solar eclipse runs wild on you? You know what? Collins right eclipse. We shouldn't be fighting. We should team up. An earthquake during an eclipse?
And do y'all remember this?
Okay, so we've all been talking about the eclipse happening on April 8th, right?
Mm-hmm.
But does anybody remember in 2017 when they said that an eclipse like this would not happen again in our lifetime? Like, I can't remember what the years were, but
Never.
Tell me I'm not the only one that remembers this.
And on top of all of this, we had NASA warning people not to take videos on their phone camera.
Okay, so why? Because different things were seen. People are filming this. So I must admit, I wasn't filming upward, not for this one, but for the one in, I believe it was October or September, where you could see the leaves, but the leaves were crescents. It could show what the sun looked like on the sidewalk. Anywho's, don't take video, don't look up, don't do this, don't do that. For the solar eclipse, I didn't. I was just like, nah, I'm not in the total eclipse, so I don't know. I didn't do any studying to see like how it would affect me, but yes, we did have a partial eclipse. I bought 3 pairs of glasses, me and my 2 littles, because my husband's never here. He's always with my FU nephew and you. We didn't even use them. I didn't even look up, and then I heard something about if you looked up, this could happen to you. Well, I didn't. I just noticed like everything looked kind of purplish. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Super weird. Okay, for some reason I cannot hear this guy anymore. What the crick is going on? When I talk about what the crack, I'm talking about this. Oh, it's on an X. Why? I don't know. The powers that be decided I'm on an X. Whatever, mofos. Let's keep going. You have been thwarted. Juicy.
That's not the devil's comet. It was rain. And there are people who recorded multiple portals in the sky. And of course, we had these black blurs flying through the screens, and people said, "Oh no, there are airplanes." Here's the problem: that there's an airplane.
That ain't no airplane.
In your direct area, people all across the world or all across the United States would not see a plane in front of the sun by your area. Just you.
No.
Here's a different one in a completely different state, and I
It's
saw
a
a video that
saucer.
had 2 of them going by. They were everywhere. Then Research the Earth put this out a day or 2 or a day before the eclipse. Huh. I said in every single one of my videos and lives that nothing would happen on the 8th. Because historically, we see from the evidence that nothing ever happens right when it happens. 1811 is 3 months later. The earthquakes are 4 months. But since y'all are grouping everybody together, especially the ones that just gave you real factual historical evidence, I'm gonna stand up for them and say, y'all are doomed. You will follow the masses wherever they go, even when it's off a cliff. Taiwan, China, a different place in China, Indonesia, and another 6 in Indonesia. There's been big earthquakes all day, and guess what? It's not slowing down. And for the
why are you trying to scare me?
The Christians, or even poking at God for saying it's the end times, just know it's God himself that draws in the sky, puts the sun, the moon, the stars, and the wandering stars in the sky, and that's exactly who you're poking at. Y'all better repent. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and I will repay.
Okay, so I have. And it's funny because just recently, my son came to me and was like, Mom, we gotta pray. I'm like, yeah, son, yeah, true that. Prayer is cool. Prayer is real. Like, we should pray. No, Mom, we gotta pray. So, if any of you have kids that are saying such things, you better get to your knees and pray, because something's gonna happen. I don't know what the frick it is. I'm not sure what exactly is happening, but my son said this to me repeatedly. I'm like, yes, and I agree. He's like, no, Mom, seriously, we gotta pray. I'm like, yeah, I get it. So I feel like he thought I was just kind of like, brushing him off. Yes, son, for real. No, I will not say anything unless I mean it. But seriously, boy, if you're saying we gotta pray, we gotta pray. But yeah, this solar eclipse was intense. It was freaking insane. Tell you what. It was so freaking creepy. Indeed. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I just love that one because it was just so much fun. Like, Here we go. For those lifting.
Draw some uncomfortable thoughts and ruin your night. Before we start, this is all speculation. This guy right here is Epic Paranormal. He was at a Lana Del Rey concert, and he said that his phone was glitching, and every picture it would take would make the people look like a straight up demon, right? Well, I'm gonna show you that first.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that.
It reminded me of something very, very, very...
And guess what? They're like, oh, well, we can explain this. There's this new disease where people are seeing demon faces. So, if you're seeing demon faces, you have this new disease. Are you freaking serious? No! And then, like, even on The World's Got Talent or whatever the frack that show is, even Longoria, I love her energy. She's sitting there taking selfies, and in her background, there's fucking demon faces. Like, what the crack is going on? It's so freaking weird. Okay, let's see what this guy has to say.
Particular.
Camera kept glitching.
Your camera was not glitching,
Was
my
it?
friend.
No,
Those are
because
real
look at everything
life
else.
Demons, whether they are possessed or just straight up a
Lights are
demon.
fine,
that's
everything's
exactly
fine
what it
except for
looked
their
like.
face.
You remember the movie They Live? My man had some dissonant glasses. If y'all have not seen this, you need to go see it.
Yeah, lift him
He
up.
puts the glasses
Let's
on,
see.
he sees things how they really are, takes them off, and they go back to normal. It's called They Live. Literally showing us the exact same thing
So
we're seeing at that
freaky!
concert. And we're about to get into some speculation right here in 1 second. They're among us. They live. Get it? It appears our cameras have the same exact problem filming Congress. The creator is the top left.
If you don't know, now you know. Just kidding. There's people that have been on Congress for like 500 years. Just kidding. I'm over exaggerating. For fucking ever, to the point where they die on Congress. They refuse to go anywhere because they're making those dollar bills, y'all. It's intense. It's insane. It's the most remarkable and fucked up thing that I've seen. Why? Why is there no precedence? Why is there no limits on people being in office? I'm even talking about our president. Like, what the crack is going on here? You fucking lizard people need to go and fucking shed your skin and die or whatever the fuck you need to do.
Odd. And this is all alleged, by the way, but it would not surprise
Holy
me
shit.
one bit if all these people were demons, or at least demonically oppressed, or possessed, would it not? I mean, he's recording it right off the TV screen.
I even heard something the other day, like somebody was talking about cleansing and all this other shit. Do we need to go back to our reptilian selves? What? When exactly were we reptilian? I'm not quite sure what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know if he has some special glass from his camera. Alleged speculation, or whatever. I mean, I
Look at
believe
these
it.
demons.
They live. Like, they literally live, and they are among
And the veil is lifting. And I believe it was happening slowly but surely before the last solar eclipse, but since that happened, it's been like, bam, 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 like, their sheath, their disguises, their armor, whatever the crack they're putting up is going down.
us. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Good luck sleeping tonight. Let me draw some uncomfortable thoughts.
Guess what? I already have issues going to sleep. Thank you very much.
Very, very scary.
Can I share something really quick? I watched quite a while ago this individual telling me people have gotten vaccinations. The cancer rate has gone from here to here. Or people are clotting and dying. People are having heart attacks and dying. What the fuck? Everybody's like jumping on the bandwagon. I don't want to be judged. I don't want this to happen to me. And I'm sorry if that was you. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, like, yes, there's fear mongering. There's different things like that happening. And I just listened to my innards saying, don't freaking do it. It was too soon for a vaccination to happen and everybody's like jumping on board. including my oldest daughter and her husband. My oldest daughter was pregnant when she did it. I pray to God nothing happens to her or my grandchild.
That the World Health Organization said cancer cases around the world are expected to surge to 77%. 77%. 3/4 of the earth will have cancer by 2050.
No, that's not what that means. What it means is
Jesus Christo, Jesus Christ. It's like, I'm not using the Lord's name in vain right now. I'm trying to talk to my big brother, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, can you listen to me when I'm talking about this? Like, can you believe this? All right, let's go, brother. Hopefully you're not going against what I'm thinking, but holy shnikes.
is that the number of cancer diagnoses predicted in 2050 represents a 77% increase above the number of cancer diagnoses predicted in 2022. It doesn't mean that 77% of the entire world is going to get cancer by 2050. That's not how math or statistics or percentages work. And I have to believe that this would have been abundantly obvious to you had you actually read beyond that headline. Because it says it right here in this paragraph. And also goes into why we're expected to see that increase in cancer diagnoses. But do carry on.
It's getting freaking wild.
Mexico.
Okay, so I just have to say, like, there were the vaccinations. Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, all these other motherfuckers. And there are vaccinations out there. We're like, bang, 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 because they say we need to. They say we have to. Otherwise, they're going to judge us. Like, we're the bad ones. Guess what? I was one of the bad ones. Even when they said, you have to give it to your kids. Go yourself, because I ain't doing it. I'm not going to put it in me. Why would I put it in my kids? And then adults and kids are dying constantly. There's these really weird clots happening. There's strokes, heart attacks, etc. because of these really weird clots. This shit, I do believe in science, but I do believe in the steps that it takes. You can't go, oh yeah, we're done. No, you have to go through all these diagnoses, all these hypotheses, everything, to get to a final state of this is what we should do, and this is why I believe in that. No, it was like all these different things, all these different manufacturers saying, oh, I have the right vaccine for you. Guess what? Unless it's been like 10 to 15 years, I ain't sticking that in my body. And yes, I did get COVID. And yes, my husband almost died. And yes, my whole family got it. But guess what? We got through it. We have our own antibodies. We are okay. We are not going to put up with this freaking shenanigans from the United States of America or Mr. Fauci. Give me a fucking break. Like, you're going to shame me and make me do it? I don't fucking think so, honey boo boo child. I'm all good on that. And then I have family members that have done it and have pushed it on others. And it's just like, hey, you do you, if that's what you believe in. But I'm going to do me, and I'm going to take care of my family. None of us have been vaccinated. Even my husband, that was in a medically induced coma for, I would say, like 3 months, maybe 2 months, and then free for another month at my daughter's house. 2 freaking months. And he had, like, I think 3 different pneumonias that he shouldn't have made it through. It was freaking insane. This is freaking crazy. Anywho, let's get back here to my friend. I remember seeing him on MTV all the time back when MTV was MTV. But hey, let's go. If you haven't seen Big Daddy, he's on there too.
Mexico has just elected its first female and its first Jewish president. So I'm very much looking forward to NPR's coverage of it, because they are always very careful to pronounce names authentically. So I'm sure it'll be like, turning now to the newly elected Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum. Mexico has just elected its first female and its first Jewish.
So it's been reported that 63 U.S.
Okay, before we get into this, this was another video that I saw that I was trying to find. I couldn't find it. This is the closest that I could get to. So listen to this. Like, banks are collapsing. And I've also heard recently, you remember the Great Depression? You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. Okay, so they had the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, all this other shenanigans. This is going to be way worse. Way worse. So here's a little fringe of it. Look at the lacy fringe. Ain't it pretty? No, it's not.
U.S. banks are on the verge of collapse. And this is because of $517 billion of losses. Yes, you heard that correctly. $517 billion. And remember, when it comes to banking, we are told as Americans to deposit our money is safe. Then what these banks do, they take our hard-earned dollars and they reinvest it in things.
I also have to pause again because I will put money into my accounts because I know there's withdrawals happening as far as entertainment. Netflix, I had to cancel because even though my TV will show like 5 seconds of a show, it cuts off. Netflix is blaming the internet. The internet is blaming Netflix. Whatever. I'm canceling you. Then I have Max, I have Stars, I have everything. Like 5 different things because there's a lot of stuff we want to watch. It's getting pretty messed up.
Really without our consent. And this is why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but I'll get back to that in a second. Unrealized losses represent the difference between the price banks paid for securities and the current market value of those assets. Losses are linked to Fed's interest rate hikes since early 2020. So now they're blaming it on interest rate hikes. When in reality, it is based on their poor ability to invest. And again, when we're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a hard asset. You hold your own Bitcoin. You don't rely on a third party like a bank to hold it for you. And this is why self-custody in Bitcoin matters. I don't trust it. So it's been reported that...
Okay, I do have to say, I did buy Bitcoin and I bought $100 worth so I could buy some weed seeds because at that point weed was legal but seeds weren't. And I didn't want to pay for weeds because I don't know what they're putting into it. They put so much stuff into it. So I grew my own, and my very first year was my most amazing year. I got that from overseas. It was amazing, but no. This totally fucked it up. But I thought because Bitcoin Wallet said, oh, well, you did something illegal, so you lost your Bitcoins. When it went through the roof, shit like that, I should have cashed out. But I thought, oh, well, they said I did something illegal, so I no longer have my Bitcoins. Come to find out, I still do. So I'm just waiting for it to go through the roof again. As well as my Dogecoins. You know what I'm saying?
That 63 U.S. banks are on the verge of collapse. And this is because of $517 billion of losses. Yes, you heard that correctly, $517 billion. And remember, when it comes to banking, we are told as Americans to deposit our money is safe. Then what these banks do...
Guess what? Like I said, put the money in for the bills that come out. Otherwise, it's in my wallet or cookie jars or cookie cans, whatever.
They take our hard-earned dollars and they reinvest it in things, really without our consent. And this is why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but I'll get back to that in a second. Unrealized losses represent the difference between the price banks paid for securities and the current market value of those assets. Losses are linked to Fed's interest rate hikes since early 2020. So now they're blaming it on interest rate hikes. When in reality, it is based on their poor ability to invest. And again, when we're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a hard asset. You hold your own Bitcoin. You don't rely on a third party like a bank to hold it for you. And this is why self-custody in Bitcoin matters. I don't trust it. So it's been reported that 63 U.S. banks are on the verge of collapse.
Yes, I do have Bitcoin. I don't have the full 100, but I have what was left over. And I cashed out when it went huge. I would have a lot of money, but last time I looked, it was just over 1,000. That's pretty good, except for I moved my wallet from Bitcoin wallet to Exodus. And then my Bitcoin Cash and my Bitcoin wallet didn't make it there. And they're like, oh, you just have to go on your computer and figure it out. No, it's not working. So they better fucking figure it out before I have to sue them. But anyways, this chick is onto something. We're onto something. Oh my goodness. Okay, so on this music break, we have Mr. Jeb Hilliard with his, not the dog fight out there, but his 80s ballad, hold on, Abandoned, and then Miss Mia Savage with Your Skeleton, The Bottom Line, and Mirror in Crypto. Miss Mia Savage is originally from Phoenix, Arizona, and she was born in the Upside Down, and she is my best friend. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
Left here alone, just a shadow of my erection on the wall. Why won't you answer my calls? I gave you my all with the love
all we need is a choice. No record, no work, no job, no savings or money. Just a choice right now between fear and love.
I'm torn. She's gonna be good one.
Choice right now between fear and love.
Indeed. Oh man, you ready for this? Just kidding. We're not going there. But guess what we are gonna do? We want to do Reddit ghost stories. So what do you think about that? Well, I'm pretty super excited about Reddit ghost stories. What do you think? Alright, let's go. Ready? Ready? Just making sure you're ready. I was woken up by ghosts for years as a child. First, you will need some backstory. When I was young, me and my family moved into this pretty old house in England. And it was in pretty bad condition when we moved in, so we had to do some renovations to fix it. And for personal reasons, I had to share a room with my mother. And this is where I would experience most of the ghost stuff. As you came into the room, this is what it would look like. On the left is a wall, and on the right is my little bed. Little bitty bed. Hugging the nightstand. See picture for a better understanding. Sorry, didn't share the picture. Anyways, and also, this all took place over the course of about 7 years. Anywho's, now on to the story. It all started off slow, such as me and my sibling seeing someone at the corner of our eyes. While we would play board games late at night or just feeling like we were being watched. Eventually, it evolved to actually seeing it often. Although I shared a bedroom with my mother, I would keep all my toys, brown sugar, brown gal, and stuff in my brother's room. So we would often be in there late at night playing or talking. Anna, oh, sorry. My screen is correct. So it looked like Anna, but it's Anna. And every time I would leave the room, the exact same toy would come launching off the shelf. It shot on and landed at my feet, but My parents were big believers in the paranormal, so they would tell us to ignore it and don't pay attention to it. Hypothesis: we never listened. From there, it would get worse and worse, and it seemed to target me. This is the freaky part. One night, I was asleep in my mother's room as usual when I suddenly woke and I was sitting up. I opened my eyes and thought the little light in the room. I could see a short figure standing in my mother's nightstand and hunched over, staring at her. I didn't have time to pay attention to the details since I immediately started screaming and crying so loud my mother woke up, thinking I was being murdered. Murdered. As soon as my mother woke up, the figure disappeared. It calmed me down and put me back to bed. And I thought it was over, but it was really just the beginning. From that point on, it would be nearly a nightly routine, at least 4 times a week. I would look and wake up in the middle of the night, sit up, and see the exact same thing. Some sort of figure standing over my mother, and again I would scream and cry, and so on. Sometimes my mother would leave a little light turned on for me on her nightstand, but that didn't help as the figure would still come back night after night. Eventually, I managed to identify what it was. It was a little girl with blonde hair. Oh my gosh, I have nightmares and horror stories about that. But anyways, let me put my earbud back in. It just flinged out. In a dark blue dress with light blue patterns and flowers on it. Even though I could tell what I was looking at, it still terrified me. And I would still scream and cry nearly every night. Sometimes it would be in a different spot instead of next to the nightlight or nightstand, such as standing by the door looking at me instead of my mother, and sometimes closer to my bed. Eventually, my mother got tired of me waking her up by screaming and crying, and she went to see a psychic. This part is batshit crazy, in parentheses, just in case you're wondering. She described what was happening to us every night to the psychic, and the psychic told my mother that it's a little girl called Samantha that has been following my mother since she was a child, and she acts as a guardian angel of sorts. That's why she was always watching over my mother as she slept. The psychic also drew an image of the little girl, which the mother showed me once she came home. I immediately started bawling because it was the exact same figure girl. We have since moved out of the house, and I no longer live with my mother, but I have plenty of more experiences in that house and in others I've lived with. But I'm saying, like, if the psychic tells you there's a figure and you and your mother have seen it, you know that that's a figure, and try to figure out what you need to do to push her to the other side. Like, not aggressively, but the way she'd like it. Holy shnikes, that's intense. And like I'm saying, if anybody has anything to say, please share it in the chat room. But this was amazing. Secure Passenger 562 said, "It won't let me post this with a photo of the bedroom. Sorry." So maybe that was someone working together. This one is by rad_Irish_S. York Street Activity. If you're familiar with the Denver area, I lived in a neighborhood on York. As with all millennials, the rental market crippled me, and I had to find a place with charm, aka 1920s brick duplex with 1970s updates in the year of our Lord 2022. In the year of our Lord 2022. Sorry. That to me was kind of dramatic, so I just had to read it like that. But as a recently divorced dad with 50-50 custody, my bank account dictated my residence. To give you a sense of space, it was a shotgun adjacent style home, 912 square feet upstairs with an unfurnished basement that was really only used for laundry and housing spiders. My daughter and I had rooms on either end of a 10-foot narrow hallway, with the world's smallest full bathroom splitting the distance. For the first few months, it was just an outhouse on a busy street. Fire trucks, ambulance, cop cars flew down the street each night. So much so that I had to get back out curtains or my room would immediately look like a knockoff disco of flashlight lights. My daughter was 5 at the time and had a hard time adjusting to living in 2 houses. He'd frequently climb into my bed halfway through the night because something had woken her up and she was scared. I would feel her crawl in and over myself routinely. Hands, elbows, knees, feet all haphazardly crawling over me. One night, 2 in the morning, I felt her, but this time not crawling into my bed, but crawling out. I felt her tug my shirt, pulling me to the side to crawl out the door. I don't know why the change in direction woke me up, but it gave me an uneasy feeling, so I rolled over to grab her so she wouldn't fall off the bed. I murmured something like, "Kiddo, do you need to go to the bathroom?" But as I turned to grab her, I felt nothing. My arms folded into each other and my eyes shut opening, thinking she tumbled off the bed. As I sat up, I saw her standing at the door, but it wasn't her. I can still remember the face, close to my daughter's age, a slight smirk, innocent and playful. She wore a yellow sundress with white flowers. She's burned into my memory, but not in a frightening way. I turned to look at my daughter, passed out cold, snoring, on the other side. When I snapped my head back to where the little girl was standing, she was gone. I've told that story a million times. It wasn't the last experience I had there, and the little girl wasn't the only person I saw. Happy to share more if anyone is interested. To me, that just seems like another story for another time. Now, that was pretty intriguing, and it's hard to tell, like, am I in dream theory? Is this really happening? Is something else happening? It's hard to regulate it and know what the crack is happening. This one is called Ghost Touched My Neck in Sleep Last Night by you/I'm hungry/ Last night, it was around 4 to 4:30 a.m. and I was drifting off to sleep. I kept tossing and turning. It felt like someone was watching me, but I brushed it off, thinking it was just my insomnia acting up, and as I was about to fall asleep, I felt a cold and clammy hand touch my neck. I turned around, and nothing was there. Well, that's pretty damn creepy, my friend. I'm hungry / Oh no. Okay, so this is funny because I love the Ferris wheel, but my husband and some of my kids are like, "Oh no, I don't want it." Maybe it's like past life experiences, but anywho. One for the Ferris wheel, please. The carnival came to town every summer, and this year was no different. My friend Charlie just started working there, so he didn't know what the rest of the workers knew about the Ferris wheel he was in charge of operating. The first night of the carnival was bustling with people, but as it came time to close, it was particularly a ghost town. However, there was one boy who showed up at the last minute. "One for the Ferris wheel, please," the boy said, giving Charlie a ticket. Charlie looked around. "Where are your parents?" he asked the little boy. The boy just took his seat and didn't answer. Unsure of what to do, he let the boy go on the ride. What? When the ride was over, the boy was no longer in his seat. Charlie ran to his boss to tell him the story. Sorry, I don't know why my camera's off. The boss casually said, "Oh, that's Thomas." He handed Charlie a cutout piece of an old newspaper. It had the boy's picture in the headline. "Boy falls from Ferris wheel, 8 years old." That's freaking creepy. I'm sorry my picture wasn't on. I didn't realize that, but I'm going to give that an arrow up. If you haven't, go to Reddit Ghost Stories, and this is by u/sign much 442. If you haven't, give it a thumbs up. That was freaking awesome. I thought it was going to be something like, "Oh, I'm afraid of heights," but it wasn't. The little girl in the white gown late at night. My best friend grew up in a nice subdivision that we would explore all the time. We discovered early on this graveyard fenced off in the middle of his neighborhood, not too far from the neighborhood playground, when we would play. Well, fast forward to high school, when my dad and I were going over to their house after a basketball game one night to hang out. Mind you, it's 11:00 p.m. and pitch black in this neighborhood when we pull up. We get out of the car, and I notice over by the tree in their yard this little girl, clear as day, in an old-looking white gown, and I ask my dad why this little girl is just outside this late at night. So he notices her too and calls out to her. She stares at us, so we go inside and we ask if any of their neighbors has a young daughter, but none of the neighbors did. So we go back out to see where she went, and she was nowhere to be found. Fast forward a couple years, and my dad gets a call from my friend's mom saying he just had the weirdest conversation with somebody in our neighborhood, and he brought up the graveyard and how one of the families buried in that graveyard in the neighborhood had a little girl no older than the girl we saw buried with them. Still gives me and my dad chills to this day. So nobody ever went and recognized like what the crap was going on, but still pretty freaking creepy. Like here, okay, so before my two youngest were born, it was Lily and Nova, and we'd stay here while we went and did karaoke. So we did karaoke. And where our windows are now used to be a sliding glass door. If there was no handle, there was an open portion. Then at the top, you'd like put this thing into the rail, and it would lock it so nobody could get in. There was a creepy girl doing this through the handle, trying to open it. Wouldn't work because the top was locked. The kids were freaking freaked out. Anyways, possible paranormal experience in my own room. So one night, I was on FaceTime with my cousin, and I was about to go to bed. I hung up the phone and tried sleeping. It was around 12 to 1 a.m. Then I heard this weird jumping noise, like a thump, 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 and it was loud enough to make it impossible to sleep. Even with white noise, it made it hard, and my fan was on, so I turned it off, thinking it was that, and I still heard the thump, thump, thump. Above me, I go inside my room, and it was still silent. No noise at all then. Go back into my room. The thump, thump. Above me, I go outside my room, and it's dead silent. No noise at all. Then I go back into my room, and the thumping is still there. I go downstairs, and the noise below me, my last resort, was the air vents. I check, and I hear nothing. And it was like this, like no explanation until the day it stopped. Could you imagine? You're a spoiled ass rotten rat, and then something thumping and keeping you like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? I'm just wondering what this other person said. So I'm trying to look this up. Come on, Dumba. Can I go over here and read this one? No. Like, sometimes people, like, hide their things, but seriously, yeah, I can't read his comments. E.T. Jane. I have about 20 minutes left, so F this guy. Silly Putty. I don't know if you know about Silly Putty, but it's pretty fun. Back in my day, we'd play with Silly Putty and we'd like go with it and do this and blah, blah, and then our grandparents would read their newspaper and we'd go and like spread on the newspaper and lift it up, and there you go. There's the Garfield or whatever comics were there. These days, they don't do it anymore. They don't do the carbon copy, maybe because it's bad for you. Because I heard, like, that stuff is kind of cancerous or whatever, so is that why they quit it or what? I'm not sure. What? When I was younger, I was playing with Silly Putty in my room. My mom called me down for dinner. I had folded the putty into a ball and placed it down directly behind me. When I stood up to go downstairs, I felt something hit me in the back of my head with force. So I turned around to see my silly putty ball, not on the ground anymore, but bouncing up and down on the windowsill until it eventually rolled back onto the floor. Needless to say, I ran downstairs in hysterics, trying to tell my mom what had happened. Okay, so it's not me trying to believe my son. It was my son telling my hubby that, you know, his guy friend who he spends every fucking day with, more hours in the day than with me or the kids. He is bipolar. He's a fucking asshole. He was like, he was not my son before he even left for gaming. I was like, tell him he's not the boss of you. And then my son goes to gaming and he's like, hey, I'm trying to find a place, trying to move tables, etc., etc. And he's like, you better get the fuck out of my place. And Floyd's like, oh, geez, like, you didn't have to say it like that. Like, please don't sit in my spot or something. So Floyd's like looking around, trying a different place to sit. And then Vern's like, he didn't say that. He would never say anything like that. Could you please quit sticking up for your bride? Just kidding. I'm just jealous because he spends every fucking minute with this guy every day of the week. What? Why? And then you're trying to charge me for electricity and water when I do laundry and dishes and cook food and buy all the accessories for thou above? I don't think so, Honeybee Blue Child. Anyways, this one is from r/witch stories. u/dirty_hippie. Oh, let's read about this dirty hippie now, shall we? Sorry, I feel like I'm a little bright, so I'm going to tone it down. Let's get a little more intimate, shall we? Oh, yeah. Today, I was in my living room, being very still and quietly listening to the TV as my 21-month-old was napping. Two of my dogs were in the living room with me, one napping on the couch and the other one curled up with me in the recliner, napping on my lap. My third dog was out front. Before I explain what happened, I feel I need to explain the setting of my yard. I live in the woods. My front yard is literally just trees. You'd never know my house was here unless you came to my driveway. There's a gate at the bottom of the driveway to enter my property. Then at the top of the driveway, there's an additional gate to get into my front yard. The gate to my yard is always closed to keep my dogs from roaming the street. Today was a bit different. What? Sorry. Rapido. Okay, back to my story. I was just sitting there with my dogs very quietly when 5 very loud, rapid dogs, knocks jolted me from my chair. The knocks were so loud and sudden that my heart skipped a beat and my stomach dropped. My immediate thought was, how did anyone get on my porch? My second thought was, wait, what the fuck? None of the dogs reacted. I got up and looked through the peephole. Nothing. Nope, nothing there. Nope. All I saw was my big outside dog napping in the dirt. If someone was out there knocking, the last thing any of my dogs would be doing is napping. Yet, they all were, and they never budged. Sorry, but I dealt with that today. Like, the dogs were napping because it was so freaking hot. And yes, they have like 2 different shady spots on the side, but they drank water and I think they just collapsed. And sometimes cats and dogs like to sunbathe, but I'm not sure if that was exactly what it was. Isn't it huge? My big kids, 16 and 13, were also home, but they were on the other side of home, in their rooms. My son was on the PlayStation, go figure, and my daughter was studying for ACT. I got an itch in my nose, and I just gotta say, fuck that itch. I don't even want to deal with that shit. Oh no. Looks like I gotta fix my hair. Cheeto, please. Let's go. The way my house is set up, there's no way they could have gone outside and back in without me knowing. They're not the type to prank people anyway. My family has lived in this house for going on 6 years. It's so sweaty in here. We started experiencing activity almost right away. My daughter has always said that she feels like someone is watching her from her closet, which is creepy AF. It always feels like somebody watching me. It's just my fantasy. Oh. My son feels things as well. Poltergeist activity has also occurred. Open cabinets, drawers, etc. However, nothing like this has ever happened where someone was isolated to the event like it was today, i.e., I was the only one experiencing it. Has this ever happened to anyone else, or am I just a fucking loony? No, girl, no, you're not a loony. Like, this shit is really happening. It's not the same way, like, hearing voices, like the mimic, people saying things when in fact it's not really happening, and other things like that. It's mind-blowing. You hear your own voice or somebody else's voice, and then you go out, and they're asleep. What the crack is happening with that? I don't know. It's pretty freaking strange, I must say. Hello, YouTuber and Twitcher. So, this one is by Maya Davy. This used to happen to me, and she's talking about, like, what this chick before was talking about, so if you're in, please stay in. Check in, let's ride on. I would hear knocking on the bedroom door and loud bangs on the kitchen wall at night. When I asked my apartment mate if he had heard the sounds, he used to live in the room next to mine, he'd say he didn't hear anything. It was weird and scary, and I've heard that these entities try to get attention of specific people they want to attract. So I think, like, they pick up on your energy. There's mimics. It could be your voice, which to me, that's a dead giveaway. But if it's one of your kids or your husband, you never know. Like, supposedly you're not supposed to answer back, but if it is actually your wife or one of your kids, and you don't answer back, aren't they going to be pissed? I think you'd be better off them being pissed than if you answered a mimic and then it kind of weaseled its way into your life. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, because when I talk about this stuff, I feel batshit crazy, but this shit does happen. Like, for me, it's been doppelgangers, but for others, it's mimics who mimic voices. Like, for me, it's like people that are walking around, you see their body, but you don't hear from them. They walk into the kitchen or the bathroom or wherever, don't answer you, and then you go in there, and they're not there. Isn't that freaking strange? I think it is. Alright. I think that's the same story. Let's go to the next one. I feel like singing Weezer right now. This is by r/ghost stories. U, which is user, /that-ad-9838. Just this year, I went to my cousin's house, but she moved about a year ago. I went inside with her uncle, my sister, my cousin, and my sister hid behind the living room couch. My cousin has a recorder. She played a really creepy note. And guess what I found then? We went upstairs alone. We all sat next to each other, and my cousin got the reckless feeling that you could talk to ghosts or spirits, and if it went clockwise, it meant yes. Or if it went counterclockwise, it meant no. If it just vibrated, it meant maybe. And we asked. If it was good, it said no, and things went flying. What the crack? Okay, so what are you trying to say here? So I don't see any notes here, so I'm seeing if Lucky Landslots. No, I think that's a thing. And then Donna Trio said, OMG, is that real? You know, a lot of crazy things can happen, and it's hard to know if it's real or not, right? Right, comrades? Let's go. Big wireless. No, let's go past it. Let's go past this. Came across this post and wanted to share it and get opinions. I want to do this, but then I'm going to share it and then try to share it with you guys. Maybe we could. Maybe I could just do the sound. I used to have crazy dreams about a woman with pale white skin and black long hair. I also used to say I saw her in the attic, my dad's home as a kid. So let me turn up the brightness and show this to you because it's not playing. See her? That's pretty creepy. Okay, let's go to the next one. Then, right after moving, into the attic, I took this picture. And right after moving into the attic, I took this picture. Do you see that? That thing, like, right next to her? A fucking freak. That's freaky, and if that's real, that's crazy. If that's not real, you need a freaking exorcist or something. Tell you what, sister. Hold on, I want to read this one. Do you think you'll survive one night with Slenderman? I don't even want to think about it. What is this? What is this? What do you guys think? So, this could be like SpaceX or whatever. Like, sorry about my cracked screen. My husband's truck drove over it, but look at the stars and shit. Like, is that a comet or is that SpaceX? I'm not sure. What is this? I couldn't tell you. Alright, so this one, it's got my heart because my Uncle Dave, founder of Wendy's, learned from Colonel Sanders from KFC. Don't go into the KFC. I was talking with some friends from high school, and one of them recounted this story. Figured this would be a good place to share it. Years ago, I went to high school in Waterloo, Iowa. It wasn't a tiny town like River City, but it wasn't Des Moines either. Needless to say, there weren't many things to entertain teenagers. One place we could hang out was KFC, a few miles from the school grounds. Many students held after-school jobs there, and we'd often go there. We'd buy a bucket of chicken, some biscuits, and just hang out. As long as we didn't cause any ruckus and bought stuff, management generally didn't care. It was the afternoon of May 10th when one of my friends, Kendra, asked if I wanted to join her in visiting another one of our friends, Kim, who worked at the KFC. I was in the mood for biscuits, as anyone would be, because they're pretty good. You gotta get some butter and honey on there, because, oh, honey boo. We get there and it's not super busy, but the dinner rush was about to start in maybe 20 minutes. Good time to get prime seats. I walked in, smelling the infamous 11 secret herbs and spices, and hearing the thrum of the soda machines as people got their drinks. So I don't know if you guys know, but Colonel Sanders sold KFC. When he did, they kept it down and didn't use the original spices and shit. So then Colonel Sanders went back in and named it after his wife and tried to do that. Then there was a lawsuit, etc. And I think he won, but yeah, fuck those guys. Like, if you're gonna buy something, keep the recipe the same or improve on it. Don't take things away from it, because Colonel Sanders got that name. He's the one who taught my Uncle Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, to do his shenanigans. Please. We came out to check on us, and we asked Kendra what had happened. She told us that she had the ability to sense ghosts. There was an evil presence in the restaurant who was watching them. I do believe they watch us, but yeah, that was kind of funny. And I believed her because she wasn't the type of person to make something like that up. And since Kendra was the type of person who responded well to humor, we made jokes about who it could be. Then, in particular, said maybe he buried his victims beneath his floorboards or something. It seemed to work, and Kendra was laughing, although we didn't care whenever we went there. Years years passed, and I eventually forgot about the incident until one night last year when I was listening to a podcast about serial killers. The episode that night was about John Wayne Gacy. What a fucking clown. Tell you what. The killer clown who killed at least 33 young men and buried them under the floorboards of his home just outside of Chicago. I have to tell you, I do believe this guy murdered tons of young boys. I think originally he started to bury and ditch them in different places, but then he felt like, this is my home. I'm going to bury him or them here. And then he ended up getting divorced, and therefore he didn't worry about what his wife or his daughter would say. He was just like, I'm just going to do my own thing, y'all. You go over there to your house. I'm going to keep my house. And his house was stanky rain. But it's kind of like if you're a crazy cat lady, you kind of get used to the smell of cat box and stuff. Beautiful sister Sandra. But yeah, John Wayne Gacy got used to the smell of young boys rotting under his floorboard. Like I said, he got divorced, his wife and daughter moved somewhere else, but that's where he lived and continued to bring boys. So I often wonder, like, when a young male would go in there for a job, did he smell that? I don't know. Before he started his killing spree in Chicago, Gacy managed 3 KFC restaurants in Waterloo. I did not know. Waterloo, Iowa. That his father-in-law owned, and it was in Waterloo where he had his first brush with the law, assaulting a teenage member of the Young Gacy's. The thing that sent chills up my spine was the date that the Gacy's execution was, May 10th. So then we go down to these different suggestions and remembrances. Before we go there, let me just go over here really quick to Breaker and put on the closing music. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight and listening to these crazy obtuse stories. It's so awesome to have you here.